This movie review is brought to you by my subscriber, Thomas. Her is a 2013 film. It was directed by Spike Jonze and stars Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson. In a future version of LA, the lonely and depressed Theodore Thwombly soon finds love in the shape of an AI that's designed to meet his every need. For Spike Jonze, Her is the last full-length feature film he's directed. Before that, it was Adaptation, a movie that I've only seen about half of. I turned it off near the midway point because I wasn't the biggest fan of the direction that movie was going in, but I have to say I did enjoy being John Malkovich from Spike Jonze. Admittedly, I've only seen Her once. I watched it for the first time in April, and I liked this movie for the first two acts. By the third act, though, the movie went off the rails for myself. I felt like the payoff was not nearly as grand as it could have been, especially for what this movie was going for, and it did feel like the film was building up towards something so much more mind-blowing than what the end result ended up being. I think the best aspect of Her by far is Joaquin Phoenix. He carries this movie on his shoulders exactly like what he did in the film Joker last year. Without him, this movie would not have been as special for critics as well as moviegoers in 2013. Joaquin Phoenix is such a terrific actor. Unfortunately, there are very few actors on the same level as Joaquin Phoenix in 2020. If this guy were given the biggest role in the largest movie every single year, I guarantee you this guy would probably sweep the Oscars for 10 consecutive years for Best Actor. And I truly don't understand how he pulled off his performance in the movie, considering that he's talking basically to himself. I don't know if they had Scarlett Johansson read lines while he was performing in this movie, but whatever they did, Joaquin Phoenix showed pretty much every single skill that he has in his arsenal. And in this movie, he gives one of his best performances of all time. I could very well talk about the rest of the cast, like Scarlett Johansson, Amy Adams, Rooney Mara, Chris Pratt. They're all very good, but none of them are on A++ level like Joaquin Phoenix. This guy is in a different universe. Everyone else is solid and good, but they're nowhere close to the level as Joaquin Phoenix is in this movie. One of Her's other aspects I like is the futuristic look of Los Angeles. Spike Jonze, I have to give him credit because not many other directors would be able to achieve this feat, and he certainly does. He brings futuristic Los Angeles to life, and I can only think of a few other directors that would be able to do this. Maybe Denis Villeneuve, not many others. Plus, the film is original in its approach. There are multiple ideas I've never seen used before in Hollywood. The obvious one is someone falling in love with an AI. The other, though, is a company that writes love letters for people. Instead of having people write their own love letters to their significant others, you have a company do it for you. I'm sure for some people, it's small details like that that make Her such a special movie for them, and I can completely understand where people are coming from when they say they love the movie Her. I also really enjoy the themes of Her. I absolutely connected from time to time with what this movie was trying to say about love. You wouldn't be wrong. You would be significantly wrong if you ever said Her is not a deeply layered film. This movie has a ton to say about relationships and love and what makes a real relationship and what is the definition of love. Does love have to be between humans, or could it be between humans and something else? We're all human and we all have emotions, and for some of us, we show emotions differently than other people. And like Joaquin Phoenix in this movie, I'm somebody that has felt a certain kind of way about a couple of people in my past, and it's hurt to let them go, but that's what you have to do in situations where it's just not going to work out. Honestly, though, about halfway through Her, I stopped caring because the movie reveals exactly what it's trying to say about all of these things by the midway point. And after that, the movie just keeps going on and on for another hour, and I just don't care anymore because I get the point. This movie doesn't have much else to offer outside of those themes, so you really only need that first hour and about the last 10 minutes, and that's it. While watching this movie, I was okay with having that extra hour of boring scenes because I figured there would be a huge twist by the end and it would all pay off, but unfortunately, that never happens. This movie, in my opinion, would have greatly benefited had it included such a major twist. Instead, we get a minor twist, which I didn't find that impactful. This movie could have been completely shaken up had it included a bigger twist by the end, but they just did not go in that route. It's weird because I had heard some things about a twist being included at the end of Her. and I went into this film expecting to see that twist by the end of the film, which I did think was a pretty good twist, but that never came, so I don't really know how to feel about this film's end since that twist never came, which obviously would have spoiled the movie anyway, so I never really got spoiled since that was not the real twist. And considering you only have one good hour in my opinion, and a second hour that just feels like a repeat of the first hour, this movie's rewatchability is not very high. I don't look at this film and say, I could rewatch this movie again and again and again and be entertained. And don't even get me started on Her's excruciatingly uncomfortable sex scenes. I made a video on this talking about how much I hate these scenes and wish they were erased from the film entirely. I just don't see a point to them. And while watching this movie the first time, I could not help myself but to walk out of the room because of how uncomfortable I felt. Personally speaking, Her is not a movie for me. I don't think this movie is bad, but I don't think it's a movie I'll ever really like. I find the movie mediocre, and I think that's completely okay. For some people, they think this is a masterpiece, and I get it. The themes are deeply layered within the film, and Joaquin Phoenix is amazing on the screen once again. But as a movie, I just don't think it's nearly as good as some of my other cinematic experiences in the past with other films. So unless I watch an in-depth video that breaks down every small detail of Her that completely changes my mind, I don't know if I'll ever like this movie, let alone love it. So I'm giving Her a fine grade of a 61%. Alright, if you're one of the Her lovers that thinks this movie is one of the best of all time, or if you're one of the people that hates this movie, be sure to let me know down below in the comment section what your thoughts are of it. If you're new to my channel, click the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.